Chapter 1654 Three-Horned Star Demon. 1654 Three-Horned Star Demon. With just the demon cores that he had obtained so far, Jian Wushuang felt that he could at most be able to form the second ultimate divine power water droplet. If he wanted to form the third ultimate divine power water droplet, he would need more demon cores. I have to continue my massacre and think of a way to get more demon cores. Jian Wushuang's eyes were glowing with a shrill light. At that moment, Jian Wushuang's expression changed abruptly and his eyes could not help but look in a direction. At the end of that direction, there was a star demon moving forward slowly within the detection range of Jian Wushuang's soul power. Compared to the other star demons, that star demon was slightly bigger and its body was more robust. However, what really attracted Jian Wushuang's attention were the 3 horns on that star demon's forehead. A star demon with 3 horns would possess fighting capabilities equivalent to that of a chaotic real god. Moreover, a portion of the body of the 3-horned star demon ahead of him was green in color. Although it was only one portion of its body, it still caused Jian Wushuang's eyes to turn grave. Luckily, this 3-horned star demon has yet to turn green completely. If not, with my current abilities, it would be very difficult to deal with it, Jian Wushuang said. He knew that there were 3 kinds of 3-horned star demons. The first kind was a 3-horned star demon with its body completely black in color. Such a 3-horned star demon would possess fighting capabilities equivalent to that of a normal chaotic real god. The next kind was a 3-horned star demon which was green in color and it possessed fighting capabilities equivalent to that of a top chaotic real god. The last kind was a 3-horned star demon which was crimson in color and it possessed fighting capabilities equivalent to that of an expert in the real god ranking list. As for the 3-horned star demon in front of him, its body had a mix of both black and green colors. Thus, it was obvious that its fighting capabilities had not achieved the level of a top chaotic real god yet. 3-horned star demons are a lot stronger than 2-horned and 1-horned star demons. As such, the demon core in its body definitely possesses a greater amount of pure power. Also, one grade 3 demon core is probably comparable to tens of grade 1 demon cores. Jian Wushuang's eyes were glowing brilliantly. His body moved at once and he headed toward the 3-horned star demon. Atop the dark land, the 3-horned star demon, which was emitting a destructive aura, was moving forward slowly. However, all of a sudden, the 3-horned star demon which had been moving forward became alarmed. With that, it turned its body fiercely and its scarlet eyes on its head locked on instantly to Jian Wushuang, who was approaching quietly. A human cultivator? Die! A sharp cry could be heard from the 3-horned star demon. After that, its body turned into a black lightning instantly and moved straight away. The higher the level of a star demon, the more intelligent it was. For example, immature star demons only knew how to eat. However, when they became a 3-horned star demon, they would possess a certain level of intelligence. I have been discovered? Jian Wushuang was a bit surprised. He had concealed his aura intentionally and approached the 3-horned star demon quietly. However, he did not expect the 3-horned star demon to be so vigilant. Since I cannot launch a surprise attack, I shall clash with it head-on. Jian Wushuang's eyes glowed with murderous intent and his blood mountain sword had already appeared on his hands. In addition, he had also stopped concealing his aura and unleashed it completely. Rumble, a great amount of aura spread toward the 3-horned star demon. By holding his sword with one hand, Jian Wushuang became like a big bow and the blood mountain sword on his hand became an arrow. With that, he shot his sword like an arrow straight away. Swish! The sword light whistled and ripped open the void in front of him immediately. Die! The 3-horned star demon's eyes were scarlet in color. When black light appeared from its body, a great amount of destructive power gathered in its right hand. It then swung its claws with lightning speed. Bam! With a loud sound, Jian Wushuang was sent flying at once. What a strong power! It feels like it is considerably stronger than a normal chaotic real god. Jian Wushuang was shocked. However, at that moment, the 3-horned star demon changed into a black shadow, did two simple leaps on the void and appeared in front of Jian Wushuang again. Its sharp claws then attacked fiercely again. It is also very fast. Jian Wushuang's expression turned grave. His blood mountain sword on his hands then gave a cry and attacked immediately. Boom! Their attacks clashed, and after that, they began to fight a close-quarters battle. While Jian Wushuang was fighting an intense battle with the three-horned star demon, there were two figures moving forward at a void that was not too far away. Among the two of them, one of them was a plump, bald-headed young man, while the other one was a black-robed old man who looked quite arrogant. The two of them had also released their consciousness to search for traces of star demons. They had already searched for 3 consecutive months. However, they had only managed to find a small number of star demons. As such, when they split the demon spirits and demon cores that they had obtained, there were so few of them that it was pathetic. In the end, there are too few star demons in the inner layer, the black-robed, arrogant old man said. There are many star demons in the core region. If you are strong enough, you can be like real God Ziyi and go over there, the plump, bald-headed young man laughed. Real God Ziyi is a top chaotic real god, and he is not too far away from the real god ranking list. Hence, how can I be compared to him? The black-robed, arrogant old man curled his lips and said, "Then stop saying unnecessary things and continue to search. Since we have not been in the inner layer for long, we will naturally not have too many demon cores. However, as time passes by and we continue to accumulate them slowly, we will definitely make some gains in the end," the bald-headed young man said. "You're right," the black-robed, arrogant old man nodded his head. However, at that moment, boom, boom, soft booming sounds could be heard from a void that was far away. Even though the sounds were very soft as they came from very far away, the black-robed, arrogant old man and the bald-headed young man were chaotic real gods. Hence, they were naturally able to hear it. "Someone is fighting an intense battle ahead of us?" The black-robed, arrogant old man's expression changed. "Let's go and take a look," the bald-headed young man said. The two of them then headed for the source of the sound straight away. Boom, 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 boom. Soft clashing sounds could be heard, and two figures were fighting against each other madly at the black void. Both of them had shocking speed. As they clashed, the impact generated from their clash caused the surrounding void to be torn into pieces. In addition, the ground below them was also in such a tragic state that it was horrible to look at. Whoosh! The sharp claws from the three-horned star demon's right hand ripped open the void and came in front of Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang then retreated and avoided the attack easily. This three-horned star demon is very impressive in both its attacks and speed. Thus, it is slightly stronger than normal chaotic real gods. Even though its attack moves are simple, they are still frightening. At least, if a normal chaotic real god were to fight it, he would probably end up in a tragic state, Jian Wushuang murmured. However, at that moment, the three-horned star demon in front of him opened its fierce-looking mouth. Its fierce-looking mouth was already extremely huge to begin with. However, at that moment, its mouth expanded abruptly and it looked as though a giant rift had appeared from the black space. The rift then headed toward Jian Wushuang's body. "It actually wants to swallow me in one gulp?" Jian Wushuang's expression changed. Chapter 1655 Extermination. 1655 Extermination. Whoosh! Jian Wushuang's body turned vague and thousands upon thousands of shadows appeared at the same time. When the three-horned star demon's large and fiercely looking mouth attacked, it swallowed 10 shadows straight away. After the three-horned star demon chewed a few times, it realized that no physical substance existed. It then became infuriated at once, and from its scarlet eyes, buzz. A giant scarlet light burst forth, just like a scarlet sun, and the universe, which was in complete darkness, was illuminated with a crimson color. After that, the three-horned star demon turned its body and the scarlet light from its eyes shone on Jian Wushuang's shadows, causing them to dissipate. "What's that?" Jian Wushuang frowned, and his real body was illuminated by the crimson light as well. In no time, An unreasonable power entered his brain and clashed with the soul power inside his sea of consciousness fiercely. At that moment, Jian Wushuang felt some pain from his brain. However, he recovered quickly. Damn it. This star demon actually knows consciousness attacks. Moreover, its consciousness attacks are very powerful. Jian Wushuang was shocked. When the crimson light shone on him, he indeed experienced a powerful consciousness attack which was at the level of a chaotic real god. Although his soul was at the level of an eternal real god, it was fortunate that his soul power was extremely tough and he was able to withstand the consciousness attack. All of a sudden, the three-horned star demon opened its large, fierce-looking mouth again. This time around, its mouth did not head toward Jian Wushuang. Instead, its mouth continued to open up with a shocking speed. In the end, its mouth covered half a void and it looked just like a giant black hole. Straight away after that, a frightening swallowing force burst forth from its mouth abruptly and it looked as if the universe had been swallowed. A great amount of dust and broken stones rose from the dark land at once and they were sucked into the three-horned star demon's mouth. Jian Wushuang stood in the void like before and he was affected by the frightening swallowing force as well. Even if it were him, he could not withstand the force and he was about to be sucked into the mouth. What a strong swallowing force. Seems like this three-horned star demon is extremely determined to swallow me. Jian Wushuang's eyes were icy cold. By swallowing me, you might be so full that your stomach explodes. Jian Wushuang gave a cold hum. However, a vast amount of divine power was gathering on the index finger of his right hand crazily. Ancient God's fifth finger, get through difficulty. With a cry from Jian Wushuang, his right index finger, which had gathered its maximum amount of power, pointed abruptly. Rumble, a great amount of ancient God power which was mixed with Jian Wushuang's ultimate divine power that could rival that of a chaotic real God gathered on the void madly. In no time, it was changed into a giant hand. The whole giant hand was pitch black in color and it was emitting a dim light. The giant hand then stretched outward and its index finger contained a huge amount of power. This power was extremely special and it was just like a complete reincarnation. When the index finger of the giant hand was pointed, it headed toward the three-horned star demon's large, fierce-looking mouth. Ever since Jian Wushuang had made a breakthrough to become a six-star ancient god, he could use the get-through difficulty finger easily. Moreover, the power that he had unleashed was at its strongest. Boom! Fierce booming sounds, which were accompanied by a shrill and miserable scream, could be heard. At the same time, the huge amount of divine power dissipated quickly as well. The three-horned star demon's body had returned to normal. At that very moment, its hands were covering its enormous mouth and it looked like it was in extreme pain. Time for me to stop playing with you. While staring at the three-horned star demon in front of him, Jian Wushuang raised his blood mountain sword high up in the air. At the moment when he raised his sword, an overbearing sword essence burst forth as well. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Crimson shadows gathered on the dark void hastily and there was a total of 38 sword shadows. That's right. There were 38 shadows. Before Jian Wushuang made a breakthrough, he could only create 16 sword shadows when he used his full power. However, after he made a breakthrough, his level of comprehension of the power of Heaven Wei increased greatly. As such, the number of sword shadows that he could create increased to 38. For the 38 crimson sword shadows, every one of them was so powerful that it was suffocating and terrifying. However, at that very moment, the 38 crimson sword shadows were superimposed onto one another perfectly. Rumble! After the 38 crimson sword shadows fused, a huge sword shadow was formed. This huge sword shadow contained an earth-shaking amount of power and it was extremely close to a stage 3 peak real god unique skill. Myriad waves kill. With a shrill cry from Jian Wushuang, he swung the long sword on his hands down straight away. At the same time, the new sword shadow which was formed from the 38 crimson sword shadows also attacked fiercely. At once, the universe shook and all living beings trembled in fear. The three-horned star demon was still in pain and it had not regained its composure. However, at that very moment, It still managed to sense danger coming its way, and it raised its head. The moment it raised its head, the crimson blood shadow which could cover the whole sky enveloped him completely. Rumble, frightening power burst forth. It was as if the whole universe was welcoming the end of the world. The impact from the attack continued for 2 breaths of time before dissipating completely. Jian Wushuang's body turned vague and he appeared at the center of the source of the power. There was a badly injured body over there and it belonged to the 3-horned star demon. However, no matter how badly injured the 3-horned star demon's body was, the demon core in its body would still be undamaged. The demon core was extremely hard. As it was filled with a large amount of pure power, even an almighty's attack would not be able to destroy it. With a wave of Jian Wushuang's hand, a demon core, which was bigger in size than any other demon core, appeared in Jian Wushuang's hands. Moreover, the demon core was not only black in color, it was also mixed with green color. When Jian Wushuang swept his soul power past the demon core, he could sense a great amount of pure power from it. As expected, the pure power that a grade 3 demon core contains is incomparable to even tens of grade 1 demon cores. Jian Wushuang's eyes were filled with delight. However, at that moment, Jian Wushuang's expression changed, and he saw the 2 shadows which were approaching him from afar. Jian Wushuang frowned and he put the grade 3 demon core into his Qian Kuan ring immediately. Although Jian Wushuang's reaction was fast, the scene of him holding a grade 3 demon core was still seen by the 2 people who were rushing over. That's a grade 3 demon core? The black-robed, arrogant old man opened his eyes wide. Yes, it's indeed a grade 3 demon core. The plump, bald-headed young man was shocked. Grade 3 demon cores were rarely seen. At the very least, it was difficult to get them in the inner layer of the 8th layer. After all, there were so few 3-horned star demons in the inner layer to the point that it was pathetic. Not mentioning the luck needed to come across a 3-horned star demon, even if one were to come across a 3-horned star, a normal chaotic real god would be unable to kill it. Chapter 1656 Greedy. 1656 Greedy. For example, the black-robed arrogant old man and the plump, bald-headed young man had already traveled many times in the inner layer of the 8th layer. Moreover, they also stayed in the inner layer for quite a long period of time for every trip. However, up till that moment, they had never obtained a grade 3 demon core before. However, at that moment, they saw a grade 3 demon core appearing in front of them and it was being put into someone else's Qian Kuan ring. A void real god. This person is the genius Jian Wushuang from the lineage of Star. The 2 of them recognized Jian Wushuang instantly. Swoosh. Swoosh. The 2 of them stopped at a short distance away from Jian Wushuang and their eyes started to scan the surroundings. They could tell that an intense battle had just taken place at their location. Moreover, they also see the body of the 3-horned star demon, which was badly damaged. Could Jian Wushuang have killed that 3-horned star demon? The bald-headed young man frowned. He is the only person here. Hence, he must be one who killed it. However, we do not know how he managed to do it. The black-robed, arrogant old man was squinting his eyes. The 2 of them were a bit late and they were unable to witness the scene of Jian Wushuang killing the 3-horned star demon. Thus, they questioned the method that Jian Wushuang had used to kill the 3-horned star demon. After all, while Jian Wushuang was an inverse cultivator with an extremely high level of comprehension of the power of Heaven Wei that was said to be able to clear the 5th level of the Doctrine Palace, he was still a void real god in the end. Moreover, he was just a void real god who had just made a breakthrough recently. How could a void real god kill a 3-horned star demon that both of them were helpless against? Unless they saw it with their own eyes, they would not believe it even if they died. A grade 3 demon core. The black-robed arrogant old man was licking his lips. The higher the level of a demon core, the higher its cost. A grade 1 demon core is worth about 2 doctrine gems. However, a grade 2 demon core is worth about 11 to 12 doctrine gems. As for a grade 3 demon core, I have heard that someone had wanted to trade 100 doctrine gems for a grade 3 demon core. However, no one cared about him. After all, Only idiots would use grade 3 demon cores to trade for doctrine gems. As grade 3 demon cores contain a great amount of pure power, if they were used to manufacture elixirs, the elixirs would definitely be able to recover a chaotic real god's divine power fully in a short amount of time. Hence, if the elixirs were used properly, it would be the same as having an extra life. However, it's a pity that the grade 3 demon core has landed in the hands of Jian Wushuang. The bald-headed young man shook his head. Xueling, have you realized that the space that we are in is completely cut off from the outside world? The black-robed, arrogant old man said abruptly. The bald-headed young man was stunned, and he tried to communicate with the outside world immediately. However, he realized that his message could not be sent out. I see. The bald-headed young man's eyes turned grave and he looked toward the black-robed, arrogant old man at once. What are you trying to say? What do you think? Why did both of us decide to team up back then? The black-robed, arrogant old man laughed coldly. This Jian Wushuang has obtained a grade 3 demon core. Moreover, he is also the apple of the lineage of Star's Eye as well as a top genius. Therefore he is full of treasures. If we were to kill him, our gains. However, isn't he someone who is able to kill a 3-horned star demon? The bald-headed young man was a bit hesitant. Moreover, the shadow had already swung the long sword on his hands. With that, an icy cold sword light ripped open the void mercilessly and headed for his head. It was too close to him and its speed was too fast. As such, real God Gu Ying did not have the ability to dodge the attack. Swish! Real God Gu Ying's head was sent flying. Before his consciousness dissipated completely, real God Gu Ying was still filled with disbelief. How can his speed be so fast? He did not know that Jian Wushuang's comprehension of the spacetime doctrine had already cleared the 5th level of the Doctrine Palace. On top of that, by unleashing his attack with chaotic real god level divine power, he would be more powerful than many of the top chaotic real gods. Since real God Gu Ying did not know about this, Jian Wushuang naturally exceeded his expectations. In just an extremely short period of time, real God Gu Ying, who was filled with murderous intent, and who had wanted to kill Jian Wushuang moments ago, was dead. Run! I have to run away quickly. Upon witnessing the death of real God Gu Ying, real God Xueling suppressed his fears and escaped immediately. He had always been far away from Jian Wushuang. Moreover, he was proficient in speed. On top of that, he reacted straight away by unleashing his secret skill to escape. As such, even Jian Wushuang was unable to give chase and he could only look on as real God Xueling's body disappeared. Even though they are merely 2 normal chaotic real gods, they still dared to lay their hands on me. They are really quite gutsy. Jian Wushuang sneered and he came beside real God Gu Ying's body immediately. With a wave of his hands, he destroyed real God Gu Ying's body. As for real God Gu Ying's treasures and Qian Kuan ring, they naturally landed in Jian Wushuang's hands. After Jian Wushuang scanned through real God Gu Ying's Qian Kuan ring, he became disappointed. Even though he is a chaotic real god, he only has these few items. Moreover, he has only obtained 6 demon cores. Not to mention, they are all grade 1 demon cores. Jian Wushuang was not interested in the treasures in real God Gu Ying's Qian Kuan ring. Although he was a normal chaotic real god, all his items amounted to 1 to 200 doctrine gems. However, Jian Wushuang was not too concerned with that. He was more concerned about the demon cores. It was obvious that 6 grade 1 demon cores were unable to satisfy him. However, it was still considered a gain. After getting real God Gu Ying's Qian Kuan ring, by taking into account his demon cores and converting his demon spirits into demon cores, I currently have a total of 28 grade 1 demon cores, 2 grade 2 demon cores and a grade 3 demon core. With this number of demon cores, I should be able to raise my ultimate divine power by quite a bit. Jian Wushuang could not help but clench his fists. Filled with excitement, Jian Wushuang left the battlefield immediately. In a split second, he opened up a simple cave on a dark mountain and started to absorb the pure power within the demon spirits as well as demon cores. From the vast void, real God Xueling had been escaping miserably. It was only after running for an hour's time and confirming that Jian Wushuang had stopped chasing him that he stopped. That Jian Wushuang has actually become so strong? Real God Xueling's eyes were still filled with shock. It should be known that when real God Gu Ying and he had decided to lay their hands on Jian Wushuang, they had made nothing of him. They had seen the three-horned star demon that Jian Wushuang had killed. However, in their eyes, they felt that Jian Wushuang had used some special means such as the famous secret skill of Star Palace of the lineage of Star. In the end, Jian Wushuang was merely a void real god. However, in actual fact, that was obviously not the case. Chapter 1658 Three Droplets. 1658 Three Droplets. That Jian Wushuang has definitely killed a three-horned star demon head-on. Real God Xueling was murmuring, real God Gu Ying and I are genuine chaotic real gods. When we teamed up, both of us unleashed our full powers right off the bat. However, we were still easily suppressed by Jian Wushuang in the end. Moreover, real God Gu Ying was killed on the spot. Jian Wushuang's abilities. A top chaotic real god. That's right. Jian Wushuang definitely has the fighting capabilities of a top chaotic real god. Moreover, he is also comparable to real God Ziyi of our Soaring Heaven King Palace. But he is only a void real god. Real God Xueling's mind was filled with shock, and it was only after a long time that he calmed down. After that, he took out a transmission token and sent a message to the higher-ups of the Soaring Heaven King Palace to inform them of the matter. The higher-ups of the Soaring Heaven King Palace also replied quickly. To Jian Wushuang, I admit that you are an unbelievable genius. However, the experts of the Soaring Heaven King Palace are not people who you can kill as and when you like. Real God Xueling's eyes were scarlet in color. Inside the cave that Jian Wushuang opened, he had been sitting down with his legs crossed, and he was absorbing the demon spirits and demon cores that he had obtained so far with great concentration. As Jian Wushuang absorbed them, he realized that the pure power within the demon spirits and demon cores was not as simple as he had expected. When he was absorbing the pure power previously, he had absorbed them forcefully. Although there would not be any side effects in doing so, a considerable amount of pure power would be lost. However, at that very moment, as Jian Wushuang continued to absorb the pure power, he gradually found a new way to absorb the pure power. Although his new method of absorbing the pure power would take a longer period of time, he would not waste any pure power of the demon spirits and demon cores. Time passed by. In a flash, 1 year had passed. During the 1 year, Jian Wushuang had absorbed many of his demon spirits as well as his grade 1 demon cores completely. With that, the ultimate divine power within his body had increased greatly as well. At that moment, there was a total of 2 ultimate divine power water droplets in his body. This meant that Jian Wushuang's divine power was twice as thick as before. I have finished absorbing all my grade 1 demon cores. Now it's time for the grade 2 demon cores. With a flip of his hands, Jian Wushuang took out 2 grade 2 demon cores. The amount of pure power that a grade 2 demon core contained was many times more than that of a grade 1 demon core. Jian Wushuang then began to absorb the pure power from the grade 2 demon cores. For the 2 grade 2 demon cores, it would require 6 months' time to absorb them both. After the 2 grade 2 demon cores were completely absorbed, half a year had passed. With that, the ultimate divine power in Jian Wushuang's body increased again. However, he was still a step away from forming the 3rd ultimate divine power water droplet. Originally, I thought that the 2nd and 3rd ultimate divine power water droplet were the same as the 1st ultimate divine power water droplet. However, looking at it now, that is not the case. Comparing the level of thickness, the 2nd ultimate divine power water droplet is stronger than the 1st water droplet. As for the 3rd ultimate divine power water droplet, it is thicker than the 2nd water droplet. Thus, it will require me to absorb more pure power and it will be more difficult for me to form it, Jian Wushuang muttered. However, his eyes were looking at the final demon core on his hands. That demon core was the grade 3 demon core. After the absorption was complete, the 3rd ultimate divine power water droplet was finally formed in his body. There are 3 droplets now. When Jian Wushuang sensed the 3 ultimate divine power water droplets that were in his body, his eyes glowed brilliantly. It has only been a few years since I came to 8th layer, and I have already managed to raise my abilities greatly by forming the 3rd ultimate divine power water droplet. If I were to continue relying on the pure power within the demon cores, I would probably be able to form the 10th ultimate divine power water droplet in no time. At that time, I will be able to make a breakthrough to stage 2 ultimate real God. With that, my divine power and body will achieve the level of an almighty. Even though my comprehension of the heaven way is slightly lacking, I will still be able to run wild amidst the real gods with just my divine power and body. Read more chapter on novel full. While thinking about that, Jian Wushuang was extremely excited. To everyone else, although the 8th layer was an opportunity, its effectiveness was limited. However, to Jian Wushuang, the 8th layer was a great opportunity. The demon spirits and demon cores within the bodies of the star demons were extremely useful to him. I have finished absorbing the demon cores and demon spirits. Next, I have to continue searching for star demons to obtain new demon cores. Jian Wushuang stood up and left the cave straight away. At the void, as Jian Wushuang searched for the traces of the star demons, he also took out his transmission token to communicate with Hall Master Yuan at the same time. Back then, Hall Master Yuan had looked for Jian Wushuang when he was absorbing the demon cores after having secluded himself in the cave. After knowing that Jian Wushuang had secluded himself in the cave to absorb the power of the demon cores, Hall Master Yuan did not disturb him. It was only after Jian Wushuang had completed his absorption that he contacted him again. Jian Wushuang, I heard that you have killed real God Gu Ying of the Soaring Heaven King Palace while traveling in the inner layer of the 8th layer? Hall Master Yuan's voice was filled with laughter. That's right, Jian Wushuang nodded his head. How impressive! You are able to kill a chaotic real god after such a short period of time. Hall Master Yuan was excited as well. It is because of the fact that he underestimated me that I was able to have my way, Jian Wushuang laughed. Of course, his words were modest. Real God Gu Ying did not underestimate him, and he used his full power right off the bat. Moreover, he had also teamed up with real God Xueling. However, there was nothing that they could do as the gap between their abilities was too huge. Alright, with the death of real God Gu Ying, the Soaring Heaven King Palace will definitely be infuriated. I wonder if they have created some trouble for the lineage of Star? Jian Wushuang questioned. Of course they did. The Soaring Heaven King Palace even wanted the lineage of Star to hand you over so that they could execute you. Ha, that was really funny. Hall Master Yuan sneered. Oh right. What exactly happened during that battle? Real God Gu Ying and real God Xueling had cast their greedy eyes on my grade 3 demon core. Thus, they took action straight away to kill me so that they could snatch it away from me. However, as their abilities were not strong enough, they were killed by me. It is just that simple, Jian Wushuang laughed. Even though 2 chaotic real gods had teamed up, one of them was still killed by you in the end. Hall Master Yuan managed to get a great piece of information from Jian Wushuang's words. After that, he laughed. I knew that you would not provoke the Soaring Heaven King Palace for no reason. As expected. It was the place with the most number of star demons and also the place with the most powerful star demons. Just like before, the core region was also in complete darkness and no shard of light could be seen at all. In the void, Jian Wushuang was traveling forward slowly. He had already spread his soul power across the surroundings so that he could pay attention to a large radius from him. His soul power covered a huge range, and it would naturally be easier for him to find star demons. Although it was unknown whether the rumor was true, there had to be a reason for the rumor to exist. Hence, this indicated how powerful real God Penghua was. That's right. That's my plan, real God Penghua laughed. After hearing what was said, Jian Wushuang forced a smile at once. Real God Penghua, aren't you thinking too highly of me? For those 2 star demons, I am unable to do anything against either of them. Even if I were to team up with you, wouldn't it still be impossible to kill those 2 star demons? Little friend, you need not worry. I have already fought with those 2-star demons just now and I have a clear understanding of their abilities. If those 2-star demons were to team up, even I would be unable to do anything against them. However, if we were to separate them and deal with them one by one, it would be much easier to handle them. Real God Penghua continued to laugh. Previously, I had been traveling around in this vicinity to find a top chaotic real god who I could team up with, and it just so happened that I saw you. Little friend, I only wish for you to keep the star demon with slightly weaker abilities busy for a period of time so that I can use my full power to deal with the stronger star demon. As long as the stronger star demon is killed, it will naturally be easier to deal with the remaining one. Understood, Jian Wushuang nodded his head. He also knew what real god Penghua wanted and his eyes turned toward the weaker 3-horned green star demon. This 3-horned star demon has not begun to transform into a crimson star demon yet. Hence, its abilities should be around a top chaotic real god. With my abilities, it will not be too difficult to keep it busy for a period of time. How about this? When we attack later on, I will keep the weaker 3-horned green star demon busy for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, if you have yet to kill the stronger star demon, I will leave. No problem. Also, I will not need 15 minutes. Within 1/8 of an hour, I will definitely kill the stronger star demon. Real god Penghua laughed heartily. After that, with a flip of his hands, he took out a black force core. Little friend, I will not let you help me for free. Instead, I will reward you. For the rewards, it will be 2 normal grade 3 demon cores and I will give you one of them first. As for the remaining grade 3 demon core, I will give it to you after this matter is settled. Real god Penghua tossed the black force core in his hands to Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang extended his hand to receive it. When he used his soul power to check it, his eyes glowed brilliantly at once. Real god Penghua was really generous. He only needed Jian Wushuang to keep the weaker green star demon busy for a period of time and he would give Jian Wushuang 2 normal grade 3 demon cores as a reward. It should be known that during the many years that Jian Wushuang had been in the 8th layer, he had only obtained a total of 2 grade 3 demon cores. Moreover, he had also used quite a bit of effort to obtain them. However, this time around he would obtain them easily. Let's get started, Real God Penghua said. Alright, Jian Wushuang nodded his head. Their bodies then changed into 2 rays of flittering light and headed toward the positions of the 2-star demons at once. When they were about to get close to the 2-star demons, the 2 3-horned green star demons reacted instantly. Human cultivators. Kill them. A great amount of destructive aura burst forth from the bodies of the 2-star demons instantly. The bodies of the 2-star demons then changed into green shadows and headed over with lightning speed. Little friend, I will leave the weaker star demon to you. Real god Penghua glanced at Jian Wushuang. No problem, Jian Wushuang nodded his head. When his body turned vague, thousands upon thousands of shadows appeared at the same time straight away. The great number of shadows then whizzed past the area and covered the weaker 3-horned green star demon completely. Oh, his comprehension of the spacetime doctrine is not too bad. Real god Penghua looked at Jian Wushuang with surprise. After that his eyes turned grave. Rumble. A great amount of flames which could cover the sky appeared and changed into a giant sea of fire instantly. The sea of fire which was burning madly then came from all directions and formed a giant flame prison. Chapter 1661, Friendly. Chapter 1661, Friendly. What great power! Jian Wushuang was looking at the flame prison with admiration and he could feel the great amount of power that it contained. At that moment, Real God Penghua and the slightly stronger 3-horned green star demon were both within the flame prison. As for Jian Wushuang, he only needed to keep the star demon in front of him busy. Swish! A green shadow attacked with lightning speed. The void was ripped open and generated ear-piercing explosive sounds. Jian Wushuang also swung the Blood Mountain sword, which was emitting sword essence, at once. Clang! With a loud sound, the unreasonable power created an impact and Jian Wushuang could not help but retreat a few steps back. What great power! Jian Wushuang exclaimed in admiration. Three-horned green star demons could compete against top chaotic real gods, and that was Jian Wushuang's current level of ability. If I were to come across you alone, I really would want to have a good fight with you. However, it's a pity that I have been invited by someone else to help this time round. Also, my duty is not to kill you. Instead, it is to keep you busy, Jian Wushuang chuckled. His body then turned vague and many shadows appeared again. With that, his shadows started to move around the three-horned green star demon. Jian Wushuang's martial art motion was strange, and he had been using both his martial art motion and speed to keep the three-horned green star demon busy. He did not hope to kill the three-horned green star demon in front of him. Instead, he wanted to keep it busy so that it could not do anything else. The three-horned green star demon became furious. Although it unleashed some peculiar moves with the intention to kill Jian Wushuang, all its moves were stopped by Jian Wushuang. As it was neither able to kill Jian Wushuang nor shake him off, it could only be kept busy by Jian Wushuang. This intense battle continued, with both sides refusing to budge. As Jian Wushuang kept the three-horned green star demon busy, he also took note of the time. Previously, he had only promised to keep the three-horned green star demon busy for 15 minutes. If real god Peng Hua had yet to defeat his opponent when the time was up, Jian Wushuang would leave. It's about to be 15 minutes soon, Jian Wushuang murmured. However, as he mentioned the timing, boom, a muffled sound could be heard from the flame prison. At that moment, the whole universe shook slightly. After that, the flame prison dissipated slowly and revealed the void inside it. Within the dark void, the slightly stronger three-horned star demon, which had had red skin on a part of its body, had disappeared, and only real god Peng Hua remained standing inside. At the same time, his hands were holding a demon core. The demon core was a mix of both green and red colors. Of course, the green color took up more space of the demon core than the red color. It is just as real god Peng Hua has said. He did not even take 15 minutes, Jian Wushuang gasped. At that moment, real god Peng Hua, who was within the void, had already changed into a lump of flames and headed for the battlefield that Jian Wushuang was in. Little friend, please retreat to one side. Real god Peng Hua's voice could be heard in the piece of universe. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate. By moving his body, he retreated to a void nearby. After that, he saw that real god Peng Hua had started fighting. With a wave of his big hands, a huge amount of flames appeared and dyed the heavens red. At the center of the universe, a shocking giant flame beast appeared. The flame beast was more than 10,000 feet tall, and it was formed from a tremendous amount of divine power. At the moment it was formed, it opened its huge mouth and swallowed the living three-horned green star demon, as well as everything else in that piece of void. Rumble sounds of power exploding could be heard faintly. In a split second, the gigantic flame beast dissipated. As for the three-horned green star demon, it had disappeared completely. It's dead. It was killed in just an instant. Jian Wushuang's eyes were glowing with an unusual light. Chapter 1662, Targeted. Chapter 1662, Targeted. It is my pleasure to be able to make friends with an expert like you, real god Peng Hua. As Jian Wushuang laughed, he put real god Peng Hua's transmission token into his Qian Kuan ring. After that, he moved his body and continued to hunt for star demons in his vicinity. Time passed by. In a flash, another 20 years had passed. Inside a cave that had been opened as a temporary place in the core region, Jian Wushuang was sitting down with his legs crossed and demon cores were floating in front of him. At the same time, a great amount of pure power was flowing into his body continuously. As Jian Wushuang absorbed the pure power from the demon cores, the ultimate divine power within his body continued to increase, and another ultimate divine power water droplet was formed. I have 5 droplets of ultimate divine power now. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes fiercely, and his eyes were glowing brilliantly. For the past few years, he had been traveling in the core region, and he had also managed to kill many star demons. As such, he had naturally obtained a great number of demon cores. As for the pure power within the demon cores that he had obtained, it had all been absorbed by him over the past few years when he had secluded himself in the cave. Thus, the number of ultimate divine power water droplets in his body had increased from 3 water droplets to 5 water droplets. The 2 additional droplets of ultimate divine power could not be treated lightly. Jian Wushuang was certain that if he were to rely on his own abilities to train and accumulate the 2 additional droplets of ultimate divine power, he would need tens of thousands of years, or even hundreds of thousands of years, to form them. However, in the core region of the 8th layer, he had only used 20 years' time. To any random real god, 20 years of time was just a very short period of time. If he were to hurry to his intended location or go to a random place, he would easily use more than 20 years of time. However, in such a short 20 years of time, Jian Wushuang's abilities had risen greatly. 5 droplets of ultimate divine power. He was getting closer and closer to making a breakthrough to stage 2 ultimate real god. Jian Wushuang was in a state of happiness. However, at that very moment, a message was sent to him abruptly. Little friend Jian Wushuang, are you still traveling in the core region? The person who sent the message over was real god Penghua. Yes, I'm still there. Does real god Penghua have something for me? Jian Wushuang replied with a laugh. I do not have anything for you and I'm just asking randomly. Also, let me ask you another question. Is there a grudge between you and the Soaring Heaven King Palace? Real god Penghua said. The Soaring Heaven King Palace? Jian Wushuang's expression turned grave. Yes, there's a grudge between us. What's wrong? No wonder, real god Penghua laughed. Little friend, let me tell you the truth. Just a moment ago, an expert of the Soaring Heaven King Palace contacted me and asked me if I have seen you in the 8th layer. Oh! Jian Wushuang's eyes squinted. How did you answer him? Of course, I said that I have not seen you. Moreover, the expert from the Soaring Heaven King Palace also told me to inform him if I were to see you in the future. In addition, he told me not to bring this matter up in front of anyone else. At that time, I felt that something was wrong and hence, I agreed to his request on the surface. After that, I contacted you straight away to ask you about it. As expected, there is indeed a grudge between you and the Soaring Heaven King Palace, real god Penghua said. Seems like the Soaring Heaven King Palace has their eyes on me? Jian Wushuang's expression turned icy cold. If not, the lineage of Star who is supporting me would still be clueless about this, Jian Wushuang said thankfully. He knew that although the Soaring Heaven King Palace was searching for him, their method of searching was very secretive. They probably did not want to alert him, and it was to the extent that even the lineage of Star did not know about it. If not for Jian Wushuang making friends with real god Penghua by coincidence, he would still be clueless at that very moment. Little friend is too modest. The only thing is that this is not a small matter and you had better deal with it carefully, real god Chihua said. All right, Jian Wushuang nodded his head seriously. How about this? Real god Penghua, I will talk to Hall Master Yuan first and I will look for you again later. All right, real god Penghua said sincerely. Jian Shuang took out Hall Master Yuan's transmission token at once. Hall Master Yuan, do you know if the Soaring Heaven King Palace has sent experts to the 8th layer during this period of time? Jian Wushuang questioned. They did not send anyone, Hall Master Yuan said confidently. I have already gotten people to observe the Soaring Heaven King Palace. Therefore, I can confirm that the Soaring Heaven King Palace has not sent any experts to the 8th layer during this period of time. Not even eternal real gods were sent. What about exceptionally strong experts coming to the 8th layer during this period of time? Jian Wushuang continued to ask. Thinking about it, if the Soaring Heaven King Palace really wanted to kill him, they could hire other experts to take care of him. Moreover, the experts who they had hired would be experts who traveled alone. The 8th layer is ranked the last among the 8 layers. Hence, among the experts who travel there are not many exceptionally strong ones to begin with. Real god Penghua's way of doing things is strange and he can be considered a special case. Apart from that, no unreasonably strong chaotic real gods will go to the 8th layer. Over the past few years, there are only 3 chaotic real gods who have gone into the 8th layer. Moreover, their abilities are normal and none of them is a top chaotic real god, Hall Master Yuan said. There isn't anyone? Jian Wushuang's eyes turned cold. Jian Wushuang, why are you asking about this so suddenly? Hall Master Yuan asked. You will know after a short period of time. Jian Wushuang kept Hall Master Yuan in suspense. Hall Master Yuan did not ask too much either. Inside the cave, Jian Wushuang was muttering to himself, since the Soaring Heaven King Palace is searching for me, they naturally want to take care of me. However, since they did not send any experts to the 8th lair, this means that they only want to rely on their own experts who are in the 8th lair to kill me. The thought that the Soaring Heaven King Palace would get some of their experts who were traveling in the 8th lair to kill him had also crossed his mind before. However, there were not many experts traveling in the 8th lair to begin with. Next, the 8th lair was so huge. Hence, it would not be easy to come across a human cultivator, even on ordinary days. Even if they were to come across a human cultivator, it would be difficult to find one who possessed sufficient abilities and was also willing to take action for the Soaring Heaven King Palace. Thus, the possibility of the Soaring Heaven King Palace hiring experts who were traveling in the 8th lair was very low. As such, they could only get their own experts, who were already traveling in the 8th lair, to take action. There is a total of 4 experts from the Soaring Heaven King Palace traveling in the 8th lair. Among them, there is an eternal real god, 2 normal chaotic real gods as well as a top chaotic real god. The eternal real god and the 2 normal chaotic real gods will not pose a threat to me. Therefore, it is only possible for real god Ziyi, the top chaotic real god, to kill me. While thinking about that, Jian Wushuang grinned. After that, he took out real god Penghua's transmission token again. Real god Penghua, I have a matter that I would like your help with. Chapter 1663 Zi Ye's Arrival. Chapter 1663 Zi Ye's Arrival. The black universe was filled with nothingness. The chubby old man real god Penghua, who was like a small mountain, was standing on a mountain and he was waiting quietly. After a short while, a shadow appeared in his line of vision. The approaching person wore purple armor and battle boots. In addition, his head also wore a battle helmet. He also looked handsome and he looked just a purple war god. Real god Penghua, real god Ziye's face revealed a modest expression. Although he was a top chaotic real god, he was still inferior to real god Penghua. Ziyi, why is the Soaring Heaven King Palace looking for Jian Wushuang? Real god Penghua asked. We naturally have something for him. However, it's not convenient for me to tell you the details. Real god Ziyi laughed. Real god Penghua raised his eyebrows and said disapprovingly, forget it if you do not wish to tell me. I saw Jian Wushuang previously. He is in that direction. Real god Penghua pointed in a direction, continue going straight from there. He's nearby a piece of void that is millions of miles away. However, that is where I saw him 10 days ago. As for whether he is still in that region, I have no idea. Thank you very much, real god Penghua. After thanking him, real god Zi hurried in that direction straight away. Real god Penghua was still standing on the mountain and he looked on as real god Zi left. It was only after real god Zi had moved far away that his face revealed a strange smile. After that, he took out a transmission token. My little friend Jian Wushuang, real god Ziyi has come. Moreover, he's alone. Real god Penghua, thank you very much and I'm sorry for troubling you. Jian Wushuang's voice could be heard from the token. Real god Penghua chuckled and put his token into his Jian Kuan ring. The Soaring Heaven King Palace wishes to take care of Jian Wushuang. However, Jian Wushuang also seems to want to take action against the Soaring Heaven King Palace. I really have no idea who is plotting against who. Real god Penghua revealed a thoughtful expression. However, I do not need to care about the crazy fights between the two sides as it does not concern me. It will be alright as long as I do not offend either side. Everyone knew that real god Penghua had an extremely good reputation all around and he had never provoked someone else of his own accord. Instead, it had always been other people who went looking for him. However, in actual fact, this was related to his character. He had no ambitions and only wished to be free and unfettered. In addition, he was not concerned with the fights between the powerhouses of the eternal chaotic world. In spite of that, his relations with other people were good. To put it in good terms, he was a smooth person who had a good sense of propriety. However, to put it in bad terms, he was a genuine old fox. Moreover, such an old fox had been able to live for a long time. Millions of miles away, Jian Wushuang was sitting down on the dark land and waiting quietly. At that moment, he was smiling. As expected, the Soaring Heaven King Palace only sent real God Zi alone, as they thought that it would be sufficient to kill me. That's right. After all, real God Zi is a top chaotic real god, and he is very close to the real god ranking list. Even if he were to come across other top chaotic real gods like real god Longqing, he would be able to kill them. Moreover, the abilities that I unleashed back then in the inner layer to kill real god Gu Ying were not stronger than real god Longqing's. As Jian Wushuang laughed, he stood up slowly. Let me go and welcome real god Ziyi. Jian Wushuang moved his feet and he walked forward slowly. Atop the dark void, real god Ziyi, who wore a purple armor and also had a commanding presence, was traveling in accordance to real god Penghua's directions. After a short while, he noticed a shadow which appeared in the range of his own consciousness detection. I have found him. Real god Ziye's eyes were like an eagle's and he looked toward the front. Atop the dark and barren land, the shadow of a blood-robed young man who was carrying a long sword on his back was moving forward slowly. Although he was taking small steps, every step was filled with strength. Hence, any random step of his would easily cover a distance of hundreds of miles. It was only when the shadow of the young man was less than 10,000 miles away from real god Ziyi that he stopped moving. A cold wind flew by and blew up his blood robe as well as his hair. At the next moment, the shadow of the young man raised his head and revealed a resolute and young face. The face contained a pair of penetrating eyes which were like a pair of gems, and the shrill light that they were emitting illuminated the dark void. Jian Wushuang, you're really here. Real god Ziya's voice shook the heavens. After that, his body changed into purple lightning and descended in front of Jian Wushuang. In addition, the ground that he stepped on with his battle boots was smashed into pieces. Jian Wushuang was looking at real god Ziyi, who was in front of him. Although he had already prepared himself a long time ago, he was expressionless on the surface. He then said, "So it's real god Ziyi of the Soaring Heaven King Palace. Do you have anything for me?" "Ha! Jian Wushuang, are you really that stupid, or are you simply acting dumb?" Real god Ziyi was extremely arrogant. "From the looks of it, you are here to take revenge for real god Gu Ying, right?" Jian Wushuang giggled. "Of course, not just anyone can kill the Soaring Heaven King Palace's people," real god Ziyi said with a low voice. Back then, real god Gu Ying and real god Xueling had cast their greedy eyes on my grade 3 demon core and they attacked me. As such, I took action and killed him to protect myself. Shouldn't I have done that? Could it be that I should have let him kill me so that he could snatch my treasure away? The Soaring Heaven King Palace's people are too unreasonable, Jian Wushuang shouted while pretending to have a furious look. Since you also know that the Soaring Heaven King Palace is unreasonable, why are you still asking me questions? No matter what reason it is, as long as you kill the Soaring Heaven King Palace's people, you must die. Real god Ziyi was filled with overwhelming murderous intent. Oh! Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows and he laughed sardonically. He then opened up his right hand, which had been closed tightly all the while, and revealed a token. "That's a mirroring token?" Real god Ziye's expression changed slightly and he looked at Jian Wushuang. "You did that on purpose? You only caught on now?" Jian Wushuang sneered and kept the mirroring token which had finished recording into his Qian Kun ring. "I am done with the mirroring token. Now, it's time for me to make my move." No matter what you do, you have to die today." Real god Ziyi was filled with murderous intent. With a flip of his palm, a purple saber appeared in his hands. Buzz! Real god Ziyi made his move straight away. Within the vast black void, 4 additional purple moons appeared out of thin air. The 4 purple moons were extremely dazzling and they illuminated the dark void with purple light. As for Jian Wushuang, he could tell clearly that the 4 purple moons were 4 bright rays of saber light. Swish, 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 swish. The 4 purple moons swept past the area and left 4 purple shadows behind on the void. Space and time seemed to have been affected greatly. Swoosh! All of a sudden, the void behind Jian Wushuang tore open and a purple moon appeared. Moreover, the purple moon was aimed at his head. Although the thunder attracting skill was considered the weakest among the ancient god clan's 3 secret skills, it was still very powerful, to the point that it was shocking. Thunder attracting skill. What it attracted was the life-destroying sacred thunder. At that moment, when Jian Wushuang used his full power, he could only attract 1 life-destroying sacred thunder. However, it was already enough to kill a normal chaotic real god easily. It should be known that when this secret skill was honed to its highest level, it would be able to attract thousands upon thousands of life-destroying sacred thunder at the same time. At that time, how would the scene look? When King Luozhen was at his peak, he was able to attract thousands upon thousands of life-destroying sacred thunder at the same time. Hence, if he were to unleash the secret skill thunder-attracting skill with his full power, even almighties at the level of the Star Palace Master would be extremely terrified. At that moment, swoosh! A purple, glittering light rose from the ruins abruptly and it ran away crazily. He's actually not dead yet? Jian Wushuang frowned. As he looked at real God Ziyi who was still escaping, he also realized that real God Ziyi's body was covered with thick blood qi. The Soaring Heaven Blood Law is the Soaring Heaven King Palace's secret skill to save one's life. Since real God Ziyi has unleashed this kind of secret skill, it seems like he is really going all out. Jian Wushuang raised the corners of his mouth and revealed an icy cold smile. Even if you go all out, you will still be unable to escape. Buzz! The divine power in Jian Wushuang's body started to burn. Although the speed of burning was not considered too fast, it would still deplete a great amount of divine power. As for Jian Wushuang, by burning his divine power, he unleashed a speed that was 10 times faster than normal and chased after real God Ziyi. He did not plan to let real God Ziyi go just like that. Originally, I had no grudges against the Soaring Heaven King Palace. However, they have found trouble for me again and again. Jian Wushuang's eyes were filled with a great amount of murderous intent. Previously, in Thunderbolt Island, the monster king of the Soaring Heaven King Palace had given him trouble. After that, in the inner layer of the 8th layer, real God Gu Ying and real God Xueling had teamed up with the intent to kill him and snatch his grade 3 demon core away. Originally, those were selfish motives of the monster king, real God Gu Ying and real God Xueling. Therefore, they were unable to represent the whole Soaring Heaven King Palace. However, at that moment, the Soaring Heaven King Palace had sent real God Ziyi intentionally to kill him. With that, the grudge was created. Jian Wushuang had always been someone who had minded his own business and would not do anything unless someone found trouble for him. Thus, if someone were to find trouble for him, he would pay them back 10 times, or even 100 times more. It was not his style to be attacked by others continuously and not return the favor. Since real God Ziyi had found his way to Jian Wushuang at that moment, Jian Wushuang would have the courage to keep real God Ziyi with him forever. Ziyi, it's impossible for you to escape. Jian Wushuang was filled with an enormous amount of murderous intent. When real God Ziyi, who was already seriously injured and in an extremely tragic state, saw Jian Wushuang chasing him, his expression changed greatly and he shouted furiously, "Jian Wushuang, even though I am already seriously injured, you still refuse to stop. Could it be that you really want to shred all pretenses of cordiality with the Soaring Heaven King Palace completely? Shred all pretenses of cordiality? When the Soaring Heaven King Palace sent you to kill me, all pretenses of cordiality between us were already shed as things did not take a turn for the better. At this point, you still have the nerve to use the Soaring Heaven King Palace to stop me? This is really funny," Jian Wushuang sneered. With the secret skill of Dragon Blood activated, he could totally catch up with real God Ziyi's speed. Damn it! Real God Ziyi swore. As he escaped madly, he also took out a token hastily. Palace Master, please save me quickly. On top of that, there were also quite a number of three-horned star demons. Furthermore, the star demons were still coming out from the ground. I have to run away quickly. Read more chapter on novel full. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate. When he realized that the star demons were coming out of the ground, he unleashed the secret skill of dragon blood to escape in the direction where he came from. The star demons which were at the bottom naturally noticed Jian Wushuang as well. As such, many star demons leaped high up in the sky and chased after Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang's speed was extremely fast. Moreover, he had also unleashed thousands upon thousands of shadows. These shadows were moving in all directions crazily, and they had also attracted the attention of the star demons. A huge number of star demons could be seen throwing themselves onto the shadows. It is fortunate that the star demons are unable to distinguish me from my shadows. Thus, no matter how many of them there is still hope of me escaping by using my martial art motion. Jian Wushuang's expression was grave. However, all of a sudden, swoosh, a three-horned star demon with a body that was obviously larger than the other star demons appeared ahead of Jian Wushuang. Moreover, the most important thing was that the whole body of the three-horned star demon was crimson in color. Crimson star demon? Jian Wushuang was shocked. A three-horned green star demon could already rival top chaotic real god. As for a three-horned crimson star demon, it could rival human cultivators in the real god ranking list. A crimson star demon had actually appeared in front of Jian Wushuang. Moreover, the crimson eyes of the crimson star demon had already locked onto him, and it was not confused by the shadows. Whoosh! A crimson, glittering light moved hastily and appeared directly in front of Jian Wushuang. Whoosh! A sharp claw headed for Jian Wushuang's throat, and its speed was unbelievable. Not good. Jian Wushuang's expression changed quickly. In a flurry, he used his sword principles to block the attack. Clang! The sharp claw struck the sword blade of the Blood Mountain sword, and an unreasonable amount of power burst forth abruptly. Moreover, the power was treading along the sword blade. Not only had Jian Wushuang been wearing the Blood Feather reincarnation armor, his body had also achieved the level of a chaotic real god. However, at that very moment, under the impact of the power, snap! Jian Wushuang's right arm was ripped off completely, and the Blood Mountain sword that he was holding in his hands was sent flying right away. Puff! Jian Wushuang spit out a mouthful of blood, and his body was blasted off like a shooting star. Along the way, he smashed into a number of star demons. Among those star demons, apart from a two-horned star demon which had slightly stronger abilities, the other star demons were turned into blood mist from the impact. It was only after a long time that Jian Wushuang regained his posture. Run! While suppressing the extreme pain in his body and disregarding his right arm, which had been ripped off, as well as his Blood Mountain sword which was sent flying, Jian Wushuang turned around and escaped quickly. After all, even if his weapon were lost, he could still think of a way to get it back. However, if his life were lost, everything would be lost. Moreover, due to the presence of the Crimson Star Demon, Jian Wushuang did not escape according to his original path. Instead, he could only continue to escape deep into the dark region. However, a huge number of star demons were beside him and in front of him, totally stopping him in his tracks. Jian Wushuang was caught in a hopeless situation. Chapter 1670 Coffin. Chapter 1670 Coffin. It's me. The weird elderly with a long golden tail spoke. However, I don't like it when people call me Elder Dragon Turtle. My name is Long Qi. You can call me Lord Long Qi. Yes, Lord Long Qi, Jian Wushuang greeted politely. Jian Wushuang behaved rather respectfully when he was talking to a superb expert that could kill him countless times with a snap of his fingers. Let's go. Follow me into the palace to see the master, Long Qi said. The master? Jian Wushuang's heart skipped a beat. From his viewpoint, Long Qi before him was already shockingly strong, but who knew that he would have a master? Just how strong was his master? Jian Wushuang gulped and suppressed the fear in him. Then he followed Long Qi into the Crystal Palace. On the way, Long Qi suddenly asked, Jian Wushuang, where did you learn the secret skill of 7-star? Secret skill of 7-star? What secret skill of 7-star? Jian Wushuang looked confused. You don't know. Long Qi stole a glance at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang shook his head subconsciously. There were many secret skills that he had cultivated, but there was not one that was called the secret skill of 7-star. You don't know about secret skill of 7-star, but when you were fighting against the two creatures outside, you performed that secret skill. The secret skill contains the unique power of stars, if I'm not mistaken, Long Qi said. The power of stars? Jian Wushuang stunned and he said, the secret skill that I performed just now is called the secret skill of Star Palace but not secret skill of 7-star. What secret skill of Star Palace? Who named it? Long Qi's face grew upset and there was a pressure that was given out uncontrollably. Jian Wushuang immediately became apprehensive and cautious. Such pressure, my goodness, Jian Wushuang felt bitter. Let me ask you, how did you get the secret skill? Long Qi asked and he reined in his pressure. Jian Wushuang let out a breath of relief and answered, Sir, the secret skill is one of the 4 secret skills of Lineage of Star. It is extremely famous in the eternal chaotic world and it was created by the Master of Star Palace from Lineage of Star. Everyone knows that. Why would Lord Long Qi say that it's secret skill of 7-star? Created by the Master of Star Palace? Hehe, tell me, at what level is the Master of Star Palace? Long Qi asked with interest. The Master of Star Palace is an almighty and he is a top expert among the almighties. Of course, compared to you he is far behind, Jian Wushuang said. He was telling the truth. It wasn't like he had never seen the Master of Star Palace. Although he had never seen the Master of Star Palace launch an attack with his own eyes, he was sure that the Master of Star Palace couldn't compare favorably with Lord Long Qi. He can't even win against me. How can he create the secret skill of 7-star? Long Qi scoffed. Young man, let me tell you, the secret skill that you cultivated is the secret skill of 7-star that our Master of 7-star Black Sect created personally. The Master of Star Palace that you were talking about earlier, I reckon he got lucky and inherited it from the 7-star Black Sect Master. That's why he obtained the secret skill. 7-star Black Sect? Jian Wushuang was stunned. He had wandered in eternal chaotic world for so long and he had joined Sanctuary Alliance. He was considered quite knowledgeable and experienced, but he had never heard of 7-star Black Sect. However, Jian Wushuang could imagine that a sect that included superb experts like Long Qi and his master, and also created secret skill of 7-star, was definitely a terrifying sect. If Jian Wushuang wasn't mistaken, a sect like this should have only existed in ancient times. We of 7-star Black Sect already vanished for so many years. With a wave of his big hands, a huge number of demon cores appeared in front of him. Those demon cores were obtained by Jian Wushuang from Real God Ziye's Qian Kun Ring. Real God Ziyi had been traveling in the core area of the 8th layer throughout the years and he had been doing so for more than thousands of years. Thus, during the thousands of years, he had naturally obtained many demon cores from hunting star demons. However, after Jian Wushuang had killed him, those demon cores had naturally landed in the hands of Jian Wushuang and there were hundreds of them. Of course, among the hundreds of demon cores, most of them were grade 1 demon cores and grade 2 demon cores. As for grade 3 demon cores, there were very few of them. Moreover, among the demon cores, the highest grade demon core was a crimson core. This demon core was obtained by Jian Wushuang after using his trump card to kill a 3-horned crimson star demon. The amount of pure power that the crimson core contained was extremely shocking. Let's begin. Jian Wushuang started to absorb the pure power from the demon cores with great concentration immediately. However, he did not know that Lord Longqi was secretly observing him from somewhere within the Crystal Palace. He was observing each and every action of Jian Wushuang. This little kid is absorbing the power within the demon cores? Longqi frowned. The power within the demon cores are exceptionally pure, and it is a great idea to absorb them. However, the divine power that this little kid possesses is extremely strange. Jian Wushuang possessed the ultimate divine power, which was completely different from the divine power of a normal real god. The only thing was that normal experts would not be able to tell such a kind of special divine power apart. Within the eternal chaotic world, even many almighties would be unable to tell it apart. They would at most think that Jian Wushuang's divine power was many times stronger than someone else who was of a similar realm to him. As for Longqi, as an expert from the ancient past, he could tell that Jian Wushuang's divine power was not normal. Even though he has just entered the pure sun realm, his divine power is so strong. The cultivation techniques that this little kid cultivates are not normal. Moreover, I can also feel a very peculiar treasure from him. What will this treasure be? It would require time to absorb the demon cores. The higher the level of the demon core, the slower the absorption speed. With hundreds of demon cores and even a crimson core, Jian Wushuang only finished absorbing all the pure power from the demon cores after a total of 11 years. Moreover, after he was done with the absorption, his body, which had originally contained 5 droplets of ultimate divine power, had managed to form the 6th droplet at that moment. Furthermore, he was very close to forming the 7th ultimate divine power water droplet. A little bit more, just a little bit more, and the 7th ultimate divine power water droplet will be formed. Jian Wushuang clenched both his fists tightly and his eyes were glowing brilliantly. He could feel very clearly that he was getting closer and closer to stage 2 ultimate real god. I have finished absorbing all the demon cores that I have obtained from real god Ziyi. Next, it's about time for me to execute my plan, Jian Wushuang muttered to himself. At the next moment, he stood up slowly, stretched his body and headed out of the palace immediately. After walking out of the Crystal Palace, what Jian Wushuang saw was still the giant standalone space, and, at the end of his field of vision, there was a space passage. Without much hesitation, Jian Wushuang's body turned vague and he entered the space passage straight away. Chapter 1674, Hunting Plan. Chapter 1674, Hunting Plan. The space tunnel connected the independent space to the outside, but it was still the bottom of the dark river. Jian Wushuang, who had returned to the bottom of the rive, spread his soul power at the first instant. After 20 years, the dark river settled down entirely. The star demons that chased after Jian Wushuang to the bottom of the river back then had already returned to the shore. Jian Wushuang slowly got closer to the shore. Although he was underwater, Jian Wushuang's soul power covered everything on the shore. As expected, the star demon didn't return to the underground. Jian Wushuang's face grew solemn. The star demon clan was very unique. Previously, when Jian Wushuang had chased after real god Ziyi and come into the dark region, the star demons were hidden deep in the underground. However, since they were startled, the star demons had climbed up from the underground. In a short time, they wouldn't return to the underground. Jian Wushuang naturally couldn't leave the dark region in silence. There are so many of them, Jian Wushuang exclaimed in surprise. Merely within the coverage of his soul power, there were more than thousands of star demons. Among the thousands of star demons, almost all were adult star demons who possessed demon cores. There were many 2-horned and 3-horned star demons. Jian Wushuang aimed at the region with the most densely populated star demons, then he moved towards the region underwater. At the same time, there was a scroll painting that appeared in Jian Wushuang's hand. When he got closer to the region, he threw the scroll painting into the dark void above. The scroll painting instantly flowed into the dark void. Rumble! Heaven and earth shook. The star demons at the scene, including those strong 3-horns green star demons and 3-horns crimson star demons, had yet to respond, but the dark void above took a drastic change. A huge, enchanting scroll painting world surfaced. The The scroll painting world covered the entire sky like water flowing gracefully. In the scroll painting, there were 9 pieces of land. The boundless aura spread across from the scroll painting world that attracted the star demons below to notice it, and they let out groans and roars. There was a large number of star demons roaring, but there was no star demon that noticed Jian Wushuang, who was hiding in the water. Until the boundless divine power swept out from Jian Wushuang's body to evaporate the surrounding river water and caused a huge movement, the star demons slowly noticed his existence. Human cultivator. Eat. Kill. A large number of star demons instantly swarmed over and charged at Jian Wushuang. On the other hand, Jian Wushuang was also soaring with murderous intention. Mountain River as palm and 9 province as print. A seal breaks heaven. Jian Wushuang uttered every single word coldly, and every word contained a special magic power. In the scroll painting world, the 9 lands suddenly became alive. One of them even surfaced from the scroll painting world gradually. A terrifying pressure pressed over madly. The star demons that were within the coverage of the land felt the pressure, and their roars became more shrill and mad. Begone! There was a sharp gleam in Jian Wushuang's eyes. The lofty land finally descended and pressed onto the vast land before Jian Wushuang. In an instant, the tens of thousands of miles of vast land was crushed by the lofty land while the star demons roared in madness. A terrifying power exploded entirely, and those star demons almost instantly crushed them into pieces under the pressure of the lofty land. Rumble! A terrifying power formed into storm that dispersed in all directions. Very soon, everything settled down. The mountain river map rolled up and Jian Wushuang kept it.